Hey guys, what's up? This is ThreatX Productions. Here with me is my buddy.
Hey, it's Kevin Coon, aka the Coon Dog.
And I am Nick. How you guys doing?
That's Nick.
Today, I'm to your left. Left.
I don't like this. Okay.
I guess it's reversed, isn't it? So I'm to your right, I guess.
So am I looking the right way now?
No. That's the way you looked before.
Oh, God.
Anyways, so today, if you couldn't tell from our nice little pretty overlay that I made,
Yes.
we're going to be talking about Marvel Avengers and the beta. So we had a chance to try out the beta. If it looks weird, it's because I'm in my kitchen. So like there's a nice shadow because the light is above me rather than in front of me. So
you can have snackies. You can have knackies while we do the show.
Yeah, here, should I get this nice big like cucumber and just...
Oh, there you go. And I am going to have this non-sponsored Fresca. I'm actually, if you notice that my lighting's a little bit different as well, it's because it's, midnight. Almost.
Yeah, right.
I got a sleeping wife. And you guys need to help me
get
an office. So why not pitch in to help us get an office? Please?
Yeah, there you go.
Well, you know,
plug.
I would literally drive. I would drive an hour to record a show.
Like if we had an office, no shit.
Just put a couch in there. Let me go to bed. I'll bring the kids.
There you go. Okay, let's get started. So we're going to talk about Marvel. I mean, first off, let's just go over our overall thoughts, what we thought about it. So why don't you start us off?
Okay, hands down. If I'm gonna say like I didn't enjoy it, I'm lying because I very much enjoyed it. The game is colorful. It's fast paced. It's very intricate. There's a lot of little things that kind of will change how you play. But overall, I think it's fun and I like it. What do you think?
I'm in the exact same way. I don't know if my expectations were just lowered because I watched Layman Gaming's coverage of it.
Yes.
I watched Young Ye's I watched his coverage of it, and I think there was one more person, I can't remember off the top of my head who I watched, and all of them were basically like, I'm very worried about this game. I just don't know about this game, blah, 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 right? Yeah. And it was just kind of like, and so I don't know if my expectations were so, Alana Pierce, she did a play along with it, and the whole time she was just like so underwhelmed by the whole thing, like, oh, I'm playing as Thor, yay. And I'm like, this is freaking awesome, And when I played that part, it was just like, I don't want to get into it because we'll get into our positives and negatives.
Yeah.
But it's like when I started playing the game, I really don't know if it was because my expectations were just so low or if it was because I got exactly what I expected. And that's the thing. It's like, I got exactly what I expected. So when I hear...
I feel the same way.
Yeah. When I hear Layman Gaming and Young Yi and Alana Pierce and IGN and GameSpot, I hear all these people complaining about it's repetitive. Yeah. It's, button mashing. It's like, okay, at what point did you see the footage leading up to this and you thought anything else but that?
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
I would definitely say that I expected a button mashing game.
Right.
And that's one thing. There were two things that I knew I was going to get out of this game just by what we've seen off of the game itself and off of the people playing and whatever. One was that you were going to fight mass amounts of enemies at one go, which is why cooperative play I think is almost a must.
Right.
For this game. Plus people who know how to play. But number two. Come on, it's button mashy. You're a superhero who has so many abilities. You think that you're not going to be button mashing?
Yeah.
However, there are combos. It's not just button mashing. If you're strategic and you learn your combos and learn like, dang, if I tie in this elbow smash with this person grab, like it all works out. Like me, I'll grab up two people, start smacking people around, then I jump up and spike the two people down, creating a shockwave and taking out like 17 more enemies. So really, I mean, if you utilize your moves, it's not as button mashy as people wanted to claim it to be. But it's like you said, if you looked at this game and thought you were getting anything else, honestly, kind of shame on you.
Yeah, it's really, you hyped yourself up at that point because, and like I said, I don't know. I don't know. So what we're going to do now is let's get into the negatives of what we didn't like. And that way we can end on the positives. I've always kind of done it this way, whatever game, or no, I guess not always, but usually in this kind of form when it's a back and forth, I always try to end on the positives. And in this case, it's because we like it so much. So it's like I don't want to end on the negatives because then that gives people the impression that like we didn't like it because we can go point by point. These are the points I didn't. So let's get into it. So negative number 1 for me, I would say we were literally just talking about it. So now it's just like, we had a match the other day where we couldn't complete it, and that was because either somebody's ping fucked up or the game itself fucked up. So we had this moment. We went into a room, bunch of enemies spawned. We had to get rid of them all while keeping 3 guys alive. Pretty simple, right? We got rid of all the guys, but then we were just literally like running around like it's like defeat all the enemies. It's like we did. We reloaded it. Defeated all the enemies again, still didn't work, reloaded it again. This time I noticed only the drones spawned in and was like, okay. Did it again, then nothing spawned in but the turrets.
Every time we reloaded, it was just getting worse.
Right? Yeah, I have a
fly in my room.
Oh, God. Yeah, so instead of like trying again, it's just like we had no choice but to basically turn the game off and go back in. So that's a big negative. And I mean, the only reason it's a big negative is because this game comes out in like 2 weeks. So it's like
in 2 weeks.
Is there a flick they're going to switch or a switch they're going to flick? One of the two.
But see, there could be, and that's
I really hope so.
I want to put the importance on. It is a big negative, but it's also a soft core negative because we are looking at a beta release. It stop you. It is a beta, and by that measure, we have to give it. In my opinion, I think betas deserve respect in the aspect that not everything is going to work, but the overall value of the game comes across, and that's what the point. The beta is one to like, hey, tweak this, but it's also for the creators of the game to demonstrate to you the capability of what you are about to receive.
Right.
And I see, again, a little tweak, like you said, they're going to flip a switch or switch a flip. I like that better. They're going to switch a flip, and I think it'll all line up. Because to go on one of your negatives about, like, hey, we got into this level and we couldn't go through, I'm gonna dogpile on that negative. I'm actually gonna lay down on top of it too. My negative goes in the fact that it took so long to be able to get it to where we could play together.
Yeah.
We went through 5 characters, right? 4 or 5. How many characters?
Yeah, 5. Because Thor, then Iron Man, then Captain America, then then Hulk, then Black Widow.
Yeah.
I might have gotten the order wrong, but go on.
Either way, whatever it is. First villain you fight, the Taskmaster, I was so excited, but that's not the point. You had to play through the 5 characters. You had to get through them, you had to get the training done. And then you get put immediately after that, you get put into a level with Miss Marvel and Hulk. With Hulk. You go through the level. Now this level is not easy, in my opinion.
Well, yeah, right.
It's not super hard. It's
just because you're not used to it.
Yeah, and you're kind of learning. You're still learning, and then you end up learning another character. You learn Miss Marvel and all of her moves. So you get through that. You're like, all right, sweet, I'm ready to play with my friends.
Right, you get to the helicarrier, which you would think this is the hub, right? So in the hub, I get to match up, right? Yeah.
Yep, I get to see my friends. I get to go play with my friends, and then all of a sudden, it's like, well, matchmaking is disabled. So what do? I go to settings and I enable matchmaking. And for whatever the life of me and Justin 112288, it's one of my friends that I play with. Him and I tried to matchmake for 45 minutes to an hour.
Like you can literally go click on invite and then that just doesn't do anything, right?
It didn't do.
It does make me wonder if they did that just for the beta. You know what I mean?
And I'm thinking they did. So we get in, you get into the snow level, and it will automatically matchmake you and pair you with another person. I was unfortunate. The first person I got paired with did not understand that when you get to the giant satellite dish, there's a circle.
It's a circle.
And unless both of you are taking that area over,
It takes forever.
It will take forever, and you will fail the mission multiple times.
Yep.
And that's what happened. I failed it like 20 times before I literally got on my headset, and I was like, okay, well, you're not a very good teammate. Bye. And then I left the party. I'm sure it was probably some 5-year-old that some dad downloaded for his son, and he just got some 30-year-old raging on him like, listen here, you little dummy.
Yeah.
But so I left it, and then I got into my own. I disabled the matchmaking because I'm like, well, it's giving me people I don't want. So I did it by myself, and it gave me a companion.
Right.
That was helpful. That was helpful. The companion's nice because it goes wherever you go, and it doesn't go on without you. So I explored, powered up the Hulk. Hulk is my favorite character. I've never been a real big fan of Hulk. This game made me a fan of Hulk.
No shit, right? Yeah.
I've known of Hulk. I've read about Hulk.
Right.
But either way.
Even in the movies, I love Mark Ruffalo, but I wouldn't say he was my favorite in the movies. He's definitely one of the best parts, but not the favorite.
When you look at the Hulk overall, right, he's just a big, scary monster who can smash, right? The scientist is super smart.
Yeah.
Bruce Banner is incredibly smart, but the monster it's Jekyll and Hyde,
right?
And it kind of outweighs it. And I don't find the Hulk to be super impressive. Okay, he's big, green, scary, and he breaks shit.
Right, yeah.
The way they did him in this game, he is more than that. He is big, scary, dumb, and silly.
Yeah.
And I like that.
Yeah.
And I like that. So okay, you get through that level. You get through the snow level. You're done.
Yeah.
Then you have to do another training inside the helicarrier.
Yeah, it just doesn't. And then finally, that's when you can like invite people, and it's just like, why so long?
Not a sponsor.
I genuinely don't know if it was just for the beta, because first you're alone, then you're with an AI, then it gives you a chance, but you have to matchmake, then you can invite. So I wonder if that was by design, and I guess I just wish it would have telegraph that more. Another negative I would say is the visuals themselves are good, as long as you're not moving the camera. As soon as you start moving that camera, especially in the New York City, because it's dark and I'm like trying to look around, because it's a big enough area where I felt like exploring was encouraged. But then when you're exploring, sometimes when you're moving, there could be a lot of motion blur. And especially when I'm like locking onto one character, then switching to another character, then switching to another. When I was doing that and there was like 80 characters in one area and then that really big like crab one or whatever, I felt like, oh my God, I didn't notice the first time I played it. For some reason today when I played it again, I'm just like, whoa, okay. That's a little weird.
Yeah, no, and I agree. So I noticed it the first day that I played it. The first day that I started playing, me. But it wasn't until I got to around the snow level, or maybe a little bit after the snow level, that I was like, man, like I turned too fast, and I'm like, well, okay, where did I go? Right? It's not. I wouldn't say the worst motion blur I've ever seen in a video game.
Right.
But what makes it bad is you can't turn it off.
Yes, absolutely.
You can't go to the settings and remove that motion blur. And that, to me, I do it to Call of Duty. I do it to
yes.
I do it to so many different games. And Call of Duty's bad. They have motion blur and weapon blur.
Yeah.
Like, come on.
Yeah. I'd say another negative would be, and this goes along with the motion blur, it's really hard, or it's really easy to lose each other in like a bigger area.
Yes.
So this happened in the New York again, where we just kept losing each other. Now you can press up and you can see exactly where people go, but one, that goes away too quickly, and two, in most games, they do the kind of Left 4 Dead thing where you just always see an outline of your partners, and or you always see their name tag. Even if it was just a name tag, I wouldn't have to use the up so many times. And even sometimes when we were like right next to each other, beating up on the same person, I didn't even know you were right there. And you're a big ass green guy, so it shouldn't be that easy to lose each other. You know what I mean? Yep. Like, I'm sitting here like, I need help, and it's like, I'm right here, and I'm like, oh shit, yeah, you are.
even if it was something as simple as a compass with a direction that had color dots with, give me the meters how far I am.
Yeah.
You know,
because then you can use the same
give me a
symbols.
Map, I can pull up a map and look at it.
Yep. Something. And that's a super easy fix. I really hope they fix it. If I'm within, let's say, 100 meters or 100 units, you should just automatically show up on my screen. Whether it's an outline, whether it's your name, whether it's just your logo, whatever it is, they really need to fix that soon. And I'd say the last negative, let me know if you have another one, but I'd say the last negative is I like how there's a bunch of equipment, and all the equipment has different factors and like stats. I love that. Like, I love RPGs with that. But then the negative would be it does absolutely nothing to the way you look. So,
that was my last one.
Yeah. Okay. Good. So we got the same one.
This one. Because we didn't talk about this one when we first were talking like what's our negatives. We only kind of covered a few with each other. Yeah. That was my last negative because like you said, you have this really cool item and it has a cool name and there's a cool stat attached to it. Like, one of the things that I have for Hulk is these gloves that have like toxic to them, so I poison enemies as I punch them. Right. That's really cool. Why can I not see like spike gloves on my Hulk character?
Right, like some like brass knuckles, but they have like some green to them or something.
Right. Now I was able to customize my Hulk to where he looks like a New York mob or like a New York mob boss visiting Florida. Right. That's what it looks like. And he's got these cool rings, but that's a customization to his outfit.
Right.
I feel that if I have armor attached, let me see that armor.
Right. And the thing is, I don't think it would detach from the whole, they want to monetize this, obviously. They want to be able to make money off the skins, and I don't think this would detach from that at all. So the fact that it's not there, I kind of feel like that's the reason. They just want to make money, and I really don't think it would lose them money just because I can put on this cool helmet. Because a really good example, and I believe it was Justin that might have, or no, it might have been Nate. I can't remember. Anyways, but the whole point of like going through this really tough raid, for instance, this really tough level, at the end of it, you get this like purple helmet, for instance, for Iron Man. And then you put that helmet on and people know that you defeated that raid. Well, how do people know how good you are if you don't have that cool ass look? And that's one thing about Destiny
they can see your power level.
Oh,
like, so what? Yeah,
right.
So what? Like, I want to have a cool skin. I'll piggyback on, and I think that was Nate that said that. I will piggyback on that with the fact that you have Injustice: Gods Among Us. Okay? This is a Mortal Kombat DC game, right?
Right.
And when you unlock customizations for your heroes to fight, they actually give you an option to have 4 different like customization slots or whatever. Okay. And you can have different looking flashes. Like, I can have one flash that looks like Reverse Flash. I can have another flash that has this really badass helmet because I went through the holiday weekend of 2016 or whatever. You know what I mean? Right. But again, it's something that I can see and utilize. Like, and if they have the ability to make it, and this is where I'm going to go with that, is if they have the ability to make it to where I can see my customized outfit in the cutscene.
Right. Exactly. Or like when we're in the Q jet on the way to mission.
Yeah. How do you not have the ability to add armor that I find?
Right. So that's the last negative. Let's get into positives. There's lots of positives. Yeah. So let's start with just the first level. Like, I love how each character feels different. And that's
every single one of them.
And that's something. Now, does it feel as different as, let's say, like Spider-Man from the PlayStation 4 game? Spider-Man from the PlayStation 4 game makes you feel like Spider-Man. You
And
know,
that's the one thing that it made me want to play Spider-Man.
right?
It actually, I was like, ooh, because it honestly, I see the two being the same. Like
Right, right.
I felt like I was playing, and this is a good thing, not a bad thing. It's not like, oh, well, they made it just like Spider-Man.
Hmm.
They did a well enough job to where it's like I felt like I was playing Spider-Man, I was enjoying it, and I was feeling the character.
Yes. And so
And
like
each
the fact that
character
they
was
can do that for each character is really cool.
yeah,
Like
yeah,
I still don't think it's as realized, but that's because Spider-Man focuses on one character. But the fact
yeah,
that they do that for Hulk, for Thor, for
yep,
Captain America, Iron Man,
yep.
Kamala, and Black Widow. You know,
Yep,
and
Kamala
eventually we're going to
Khan.
have Hawkeye, eventually we're going to have Spider-Man. And the fact that each of them just play
I
different.
think I think we're gonna get Ant-Man.
Yes.
I think
Yes.
we are because when you're on
And
the
Giant Man,
helicarrier,
that'll be his ult. Just like we have
yep,
Hulkbuster is Iron Man's.
yep,
Yeah, I bet.
yep.
I bet so.
Well, and Kamala Khan, when you do her ult, she turns giant too.
Right?
So here's the
In
thing,
Biggin.
though: when you're going down in the helicarrier,
Hmm.
you actually go up to Ant-Man's van.
Oh, that's right.
His van is right there. So I
He
have
lives in
reason
a
to
van down by the river.
I have reason to believe that Ant-Man will be as a playable character, if not a playable character, at least a mission source.
Yeah, yeah. And I mean, they have endless, possibilities. So I really like that. So I mean, your favorite character is Hulk. What?
100%.
Why? So when the game comes out, you're gonna main him.
I think for now I will probably main Hulk.
Nice.
One, he's a tank.
Yep.
Okay. Complete tank, but he's got a soft spot.
Oh.
No, I just didn't care for Iron Man and his flying ability. Like his controls were just when they gave me my second training with him, it was really easy and I picked him up really easy and I'm like, okay, that's not so bad.
Hmm.
I really enjoyed playing as Captain America, but his controls were stiff.
Yeah.
The smoothest controls was Black Widow by far.
Yeah. Yeah.
Black Widow was super smooth, but the Hulk gave me insight to something new that I didn't know I liked.
Hmm.
I didn't know I liked to frickin' smash. I did
Right.
not know that. And again, I knew of Hulk growing up. I read his comic books, all that stuff, and he just wasn't my favorite. And I was getting into this game like, okay, who am I going to be? Iron Man or Captain America? Probably not Bruce Banner. And then lo and behold, Bruce Banner wins it.
Right.
What it was for me that made me fall in love with the Hulk was when I got to the jungle level. I had like 10, 15 enemies around me, and I jumped. And then I jumped again to get out of the way. I wasn't dodging. I wasn't hitting circle. I was just jumping. And I noticed each jump was bigger.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, that's kind of cool. So I jumped a few times, and I noticed like 3 to 4 jumps is about the max height that you're going to get. I got pretty high, and then I held triangle, and I came down with this massive elbow smash, and it knocked all of them down. And I'm like, well, that's something that I find completely intriguing.
Right.
And here's why. The game convinced me to play.
Right.
Which, that's the whole point behind video games, is just to get in touch with who you are, to get in touch with your inner child or inner silly side or whatever you want to call it, and just play. And I did that. I found myself having fun as the Hulk, grabbing enemies and then like hitting other enemies with them.
Right.
Like, to me, that was fun and like brought a lot of joy, which that's should be concerning for most psychiatrists, I guess. But I enjoyed smashing with the Hulk, and then remembering back to the comic books, like I was playing as him, and I actually did. I remember back to like, he jumps, and then when I did my jump thing, and I did my smash, it immediately made me remember like he did that in the comic book. That's something I've seen him do. This was not something the game taught me how to do.
Right. Right.
It did not teach me, hey, if you jump a couple times and then smash, you're gonna, create a really good shockwave. No, it didn't tell me that. That's something that I learned by playing, by exploring my character, that I found enjoyment after I've never enjoyed the Hulk in my whole life. Like, again, he's Jekyll, he's Hyde, and it's just not my persona. I really like badasses.
Yeah.
And I felt like I didn't feel the Hulk was ever really a badass. Now,
Yeah.
I'm like, actually, he's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Kind of cool.
So it's kind of funny because my main is Iron Man. Like, I love his flying. I actually, like, I spend most of the time in the air. And I like that because... like if we're doing one of those where we have the 3 points or whatever, I can kind of be the overlook and be like, all right, I have to go to A real fast, do a couple attacks, go over here. I also like how you can like switch between his attacks. So you have the pulsar, which is, you know, typical for Iron Man. Then you have the lasers, and then you have the rockets, and each one of them kind of feel different. Like the lasers for me, are better as a melee because I can do big sweeping motions with them. But if I do the L2 R2 where I'm aiming and firing, I don't feel like they do as much damage. But then what does do a lot of damage when I do the aim and fire are the rockets. And you can even upgrade them where you can lock onto multiple targets and then do a bunch of like mini rockets. So I love that. And That's cool. I love the versatility of him. I love flying around him. It makes sense. Like when I go into flight mode, if I pull back, I can go really slow. And then if I push forward, I go faster, you know, up, down, left, right. And then I love how I can basically be sprinting at somebody. And then when I get close to him, press the square button and it just automatically switches to combat mode. And I start like wailing on him mid-air. Or I just unlocked where I can hold down square and do a ground pound. So I'm like I love him. The versatility and just the different things that I've gotten so far. And obviously that's just one skill tree. We haven't, because it's the beta, we don't know what all the other skill trees do. So like I can't wait to see what else I can do with him.
And so he's super smooth. It's like you said, you're flying at the enemy and you can start pounding them in the air. Mm-hmm. Again, not that I don't like the Tony. Once I got through the second playthrough of Tony Stark and Iron Man and got the training, I was like, oh, he's actually kind of simple to control. He was hard at first. Second training, I'm like, oh, he's super simple.
And it's because it was on rails, I think. The first time you're on rails, so you couldn't go wherever you wanted. You had to go where it wanted you to go.
Yep.
Once it opened it up, I was like, oh, okay, I got this, motherfucker.
Yeah, and it's like you said, he's very fluid. Like you can go from flight combat to ground combat almost seamlessly. Like I have found hardly any seam in it, and that's really good. I like how fluid that is. It's just it transitions really, really well.
So who would your second person be? So you have your main is Hulk. Who would your second be?
Probably Black Widow.
Yeah, mine's Kamala. So
Kamala's
we're both
cool,
a bunch of inner chicks. That's what we are.
I like. Yeah. No, I like Kamala in the aspect that she is a really good addition to Marvel, and the fact that she got her start as Miss Marvel like back in 2013. Like, and she's Elastigirl. She's really interesting as a character, but
definitely
when it comes to fluidity and like transitional characters, I find that Black Widow, it has the most to offer. Natalia is like very smooth. You can transition from evading to shooting to fighting at the drop of a hat. She's got some really cool perks where you can zip line an enemy.
Zippity-doo-dah.
But again, Kamala does too. She has that super long arm where you grab people. And she has the ability, like Hulk, where you can pick people up and smash them.
Right.
So I want to say that Kamala would come in third for me for now, just because I didn't get to play enough as Captain America. Thor was cool, but I didn't have a lot of fun.
Yeah. The one positive I have about Thor is that there's the one segment where they had the shields, and the game wanted me to hold down triangle to destroy the shield. But what I did is I threw the hammer behind him and then moved to the right so he was in front of me and then called it back to me. It stunned him, so his arms were kind of flailing, and then I just started beating the shit out of him. And so I was like, I beat the system. Like, it wants me to do one thing, but I'm like, nah, I'm going to do it my own way. And that experimentation, I would say, is another positive to this game. Is
you played it.
It can certainly be button mashing if you're button mashing. Otherwise, you can switch things. And Iron Man is a perfect example. I can switch from pulsars to lasers to rockets on the fly, and I can just be wrecking ass. Or I can just go square.
Well, and it's like, it's again, you played the game. It's not that you beat the system, you played the game. You actually got in touch with yourself and was like, I'm going to try it this way. And you tried it and it worked. The fact that they made it work shows that they have developers that are thinking outside that box just like you are. And that is what a good game takes. I mean, that's what it takes to make a really good game. The developers need to be able to step out of their own brain and be like, well, I like it this way and it's going to be this way. It's not about you, man. It's not. It's just not. Wipe it off your nose. It's just not. No.
What's some more positives?
First off, detail.
Yeah.
Detail.
As long as you're not whipping the camera around and maybe you're just moving in a straight line, the detail of everything, just the world itself, that would be another one. The world. I like how certain areas are big and certain areas are small. But like New York is a perfect example how we could just go around and beat people up. You know what I mean? And it felt really good, and it was big enough where like Iron Man, for instance, I could just fly around for a while. Granted, obviously there are limits, but it felt enough where I wanted to explore, but not too much where it's like I'm getting distracted by 8 million, icons like in like a Far Cry game or something.
No, the icons are minimal. Icons are minimal, and certain icons only show up once you get it within certain range of them, which I actually like because that's prompting you to explore. It's
definitely.
I've already unlocked 2 chests, but maybe there's 6 chests on this map. So you actually explore, keep spamming your up button. It'll show you where the icon is. You go get it. And again, going back to the fact that you're getting really cool descriptive items that give you perks and buffs. Like that's, if it wasn't for the fact that they don't show, I actually really like that. I like that. I can have arm buffs and neck buffs and head buffs. So like, I don't know. Those things like matter to me. The maps
so many
are
buffs
not
on a
small.
buff guy.
I'm a buff guy. The maps are not small.
Yeah,
they're not. They're actually decent.
I mean, even indoors, you know what I mean?
Yeah, the indoors. Yeah, and here's the other thing. When playing through the jungle level, how many of you ended up going to the top of the elevator shaft?
All right.
Yeah. Explore the game. If you'd explored it, you would have went to the top of the elevator shaft and you probably would have got the cool gear like I got. But you wouldn't know I got the cool gear because it doesn't show.
Yeah. Yeah, explore.
So I mean that's just in my opinion that's still a positive to the game.
So closing thoughts? You want to do closing thoughts?
Buy it.
I mean the thing is that will it launch and be absolutely perfect? I don't think so. If we go only by the tests that we did, the beta tests that we did, and how we had a mission that messed up, will it be perfect? No, I definitely don't think so. If you go into it expecting it to be perfect and as soon as you hit that wall, you're like, oh, I hate this game, I'm gonna go return it. If you're that type of person, then yeah, maybe give it a couple weeks, give it a couple of patches, you know what I mean? But if you're the type of person who's able to look past that and have fun with it, and hey, you just want to experience what it's like to be Iron Man, Hulk, so on and so forth, this game makes you feel like that. Is it as in-depth as Batman Arkham series? No. Is it as in-depth as Spider-Man on PlayStation 4? No. But I don't think it's also trying to be that. But it makes me feel enough like Iron Man, enough like Hulk, that it's definitely worth it.
It's enough to be like them that it is worth it. You're not getting a story about one character and the world they live in. You're getting a story of 5 characters and the missions that it took to save the world.
Definitely.
And that's what I see it as. I see it as a strictly mission-structured game with a free play feel.
Yeah. I want to say free play, but I could sort of see what you mean.
I don't know. It depends. If the game releases and you're able to invite your friends into your helicarrier with you and you guys can do stuff inside the helicarrier, that's free play. I mean, you're just kind of playing.
I thought you meant free to play. Sorry, never mind. I know exactly what you mean now. Okay, I agree with you. Okay.
Yeah, okay. Kind of not you still have to pay for the game. It's kind of expensive. But I think that the price is worth it.
Yeah, definitely.
It's not often that I'm like, yeah, $60 for a new game. Most of the time I'm like,
I think both of us are like, we usually wait for a sale, but this is one where even with its flaws, I'm willing to pay the full price.
Is it the Marvel nostalgia? Kinda. Is it the fact that I enjoyed playing the game?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, definitely.
I actually had fun playing the game. And when Nick and I were suited up together and we were in that mission together and we were kicking frickin' aim ass, we were having fun.
Definitely.
So,
and I think that's the bottom line.
Yeah. Buy it.
So we want to know if you guys were able to get into the free beta this weekend. How did you like it? What did you think about it? Let us know down in the comments below, or you can go to @TX3 Productions. Go to our Discord that should be in the Twitch chat right now. All that good stuff. So I was Nick.
I am Kevin.
Are you?
Yeah.
Okay. And thank you so much for joining us on Threat X-Ray Productions, your home of Nerd Radio, your national NerdNet Radio Direct. You guys have a good day.